So weekly update number 18, and I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need some feedback from you and see how these weekly updates are going. So our channel has changed dramatically over the last 4 years, and this year I decided to do two things. That was the weekly updates and the podcasts. So the podcasts are going okay. It's just something actually I really enjoy doing. And the weekly updates, it was more because I was doing a lot of very punctual, informative videos, which I really want to do, want to carry on doing, but it was more answering things from our YouTube channel, clients' questions and stuff like that. Anyway, but I didn't really know what format they were going to take, but I've been getting some great advice from our clients who have been coming back to me with suggestions of how to format videos, show me other videos of other channels that I haven't even seen, which are quite successful, and just how to structure the weekly updates as well. So I had a big list and I shortened it, and I've actually got it down to 4 different sections. It's actually quite easy to sit down and record 4 separate sections, and the way I'm going to do it is, and I'd love your feedback on this to see if you think I've got it right. So on the weekly updates, I'm going to start with what we call stage 1, which is getting ready in the UK. So anything related to the UK. So this video, we've got a client report coming back from Edinburgh for today's video. Anything before you move into Spain that I see it's interesting from the UK, or even your country of origin. It doesn't have to be the UK, but a majority of our clients are coming from the UK. That's going to be the first part of my weekly update. Then stage 2, which is when you're in Spain. So that's me generally going through my emails and looking at our appointments from the previous week and letting you know if there's any information that might be useful there, just how they went, really. Everything from, oh, it's far too hot outside, to the queue was too long, to, oh, they've changed something with the taxis. Okay, so that's going to be it, talking about the appointments in Spain. Then we are going to move on to our YouTube answers and questions. So I've been getting a lot more engagement on our YouTube videos, which is great, a lot more questions, but it's quite hard to answer them all the time as they come in. So what I'm going to do is just do it once a week on the weekly update. Just open up the YouTube, go through the unanswered questions, go through all of them. And if I do miss one, just please put it in the comments below. And then the last thing will be out and about. So basically living in Spain, anything to do with living in Spain. That includes you guys from the channel or our clients, or anything that they've sent us as well. Just showing any photos you want to send us. What's it like living in Spain? I've been collecting strange stuff you might find like really unuseful, but I went to get my car serviced and I thought, you know what, I'm going to scan the invoice and put it on the channel just so people know, well, how much it costs to get a car serviced, and show you what a Spanish invoice looks like if you've not moved over yet. Who knows, these small things about living in Spain help. So that's going to be our format. It's stage 1, UK, a country of origin. Stage 2, what's happening in Spain. YouTube, answer your questions. So if you guys have asked anything, I'll answer on the weekly updates. And out and about in Spain, anything that I feel is relevant, whether it's wine, receipts, the weather, plants, birds, I don't know, who knows, and what you guys send over to me. So feedback would be grateful, thank you. So let's start now with stage 1, and I've got a fantastic report back here from our client Chris, who went to Edinburgh, and I'm going to read it out as he sent it to me, and you've taken the time to do this, and I really, really, really do appreciate it when you do. We ask all our clients if you can send us a bit of feedback, that'd be great. So Chris said, when we booked it, there were lots of slots available. I didn't jump on a screen share of anything with Chris. He did it himself, found the system, I think, a little bit frustrating, but he got through it pretty easily and got himself an appointment. Arrived in Edinburgh with plenty of time for our 1 o'clock appointment and parked at the Audi car park, which is quite close. It's important to remember. I 1.5 hours free parking, did some shopping in Aldi as we were away for the weekend in accommodation nearby. The office is easy to find, 2 meters walk from Aldi. Here's a photo of it for you. I visited it last year, and I found it quite easy to find as well. And quite a pretty little area, really, the BLS office in Edinburgh. Appointment 1 o'clock, arrived at 12:45, buzz entry to the office on the first floor, well signposted, checked in at reception and took a seat. Waited 10 minutes to be seen, or so to be seen, handed over our signed checklist to be told there's a new version. Okay, so we had a printed version of the checklist we got from the consulate website, and we send the packs out way before people actually go to their appointments. They've obviously updated it since then, so we've got to make sure that we've got the correct correct version going forward. He printed new ones off for us and we signed them and handed them over. Documents must be in a different order from the old checklist, but we didn't have the new one to refer to. Took about 40 minutes with a couple of interruptions from the agents asking the guy questions. Appeared he was the main man. He was very thorough and very polite. A good experience, to be honest. Waited 10 minutes or so to be seen, handed over the checklist. We paper clipped passport photos to the application forms. He took and attached them to the forms with a prick stick. He never mentioned digital photos, or I could hear it being mentioned in a cubicle next door. Okay, so there's two things there. 40 minutes is a long time for a BLS appointment, so you must have got the main guy there. And photos, we're back to this: do you take a photo, don't you take a photo? Yes you do, just take a photo. If they don't use it, well, you've got a spare photo, but I think it's a good idea to take one. So I think I was talking about last are we going to advise our clients they don't need to anymore? No, we're going to stick to telling people that they need to take a photo with them. He asked if we had a prepaid envelope to return the passports, which he didn't. Assuming this wasn't done now, opted for their courier service. Always a good idea to use their courier service. He only wanted copies of the photo pages of our passports, handed the rest back to us. So again, take full copies of your passports in case they ask. In this occasion, they didn't. We always say, look, you're likely to walk away with copies, but we still prefer you take a full copy of your passport with you because they have asked in the past. He asked if we had any photographs of the driver's license. We used them for proof of address in UK. ACRO, marriage certificate. We didn't, so we went and took photocopies. I had electricity bill and other docs for the house, but was happy just to take the electricity bill. He photocopied the marriage certificate and translation, handed the originals back to us. Counted the bank statements. I think to check there was 12 months worth. The cost of booking the appointments online was taken from the total bill. Just check that they discount that £14.45, I think it is, from your bill. Because the appointment took longer than we thought, we went over the time limit in Aldi car park by a little, and today received a penalty notice from Parking Eye. Okay, I'll be giving them a suitable reply to their request for money. Okay, so just make sure, that's a very important point. If you are going to Edinburgh and you do park in Aldi, remember it's only 1.5 hours free parking. Otherwise you might get a parking notice like Chris did from Parking Eye. Chris, let us know how that goes with Parking Eye, please. That'd be helpful for everybody else. Okay then, so that is our stage 1, what's happening over in the UK. Let's crack on with our stage 2. Stage 2, some great news from Almeria. 4 of our clients managed to grab appointments this week, and it's the first ones we've probably seen in about a month. We've been constantly trying. I haven't seen them come up, and at the times that the clients got them, we always log them on a calendar to keep trying, and we try random times as well. We haven't seen any, but we have seen 4 come in this week, so that's great news from Almeria. Also, we had a client go through Ejido, and they were very polite there, which wasn't my experience when I went, so that's great. What else have we had going on? A couple of visa registrations in Malaga smoothly. Malaga appointments are a bit strange at the moment. You can either get them really quickly when there's random ones, or you can't get them until August. So I say, with anybody, just have patience with the people trying to get the appointments, because they're really random at the moment, but we are getting them. It's just a struggle at times to get the appointments that people would prefer to have. So I've just booked some, for example, in a time scale which helps some of our clients, but they're in Malaga and they have to come from Estepona, but it's impossible to get Estepona. So unfortunately, they're going to have to come from Estepona down to Malaga and do these appointments, because we need to get them in this month. So yeah, just you have to be very flexible, and please make sure you attend the appointments if you get them booked, because they're so hard to get. And it's not as though we can go in the system and change them, because once you've got your appointment booked with your NIE, you have to cancel it to rebook which is a huge risk if another appointment doesn't pop up. Another interesting one we had this week was an EU family member who switched their residency onto their EU passport. So if you are waiting for, say you're an Irish citizen and you're a British citizen and you've got residency off the back of the Irish citizen, and then you get an Irish passport a bit further down the line, you could swap that residency if you wanted to for an EU residency. But don't forget that resets the clock for the temporary residency as well, because you're using a completely different passport. And we did ask that question at the police station. He said, yeah, now with the new green card you have to come back in 5 years. So that's it. But they did it all at the Estrangeria. There was no need to contact the subdelegation of the government. They did it all there for us, and that was good. And check this out. This is a photo of one of our clients here from Alicante. Kath, she's very happy. There, stood on her balcony, got her folder and had her visa registered. So well done, Kath, your card will be ready in about 40 days. So that's great. So that's what's happening out and about there. The appointments are running smoothly, albeit hard to get. And let's move on to our YouTube questions and answers. So moving on to our YouTube, and please, if I haven't answered any of your questions, please let me know. And we're going to go back 7 days. And let's start with a question about the 6 month. If I ever repeat any of these, I am sorry, because I don't write down where I start, where I finish, and sometimes these recordings are done 2 days before they're published at the weekend. But anyway, can't harm to answer them twice. Maybe I answer them differently, who knows. So wow, oh no, there we go. I've already answered that one last week. I can remember that one. So here we go. 5 days ago, Kevin Moody, and our weekly update number 16. Gideon Price over. Thank you. Cheers, Kev. The one thing I am struggling is the payment for the visa at the BLF. I've come across the 790,052. Do they require this form filled in at the meeting, or can we just give them our credit card details? I'm applying with my wife. Will it be 2 lots of payments or one to cover both of us? Thank you in advance. Right, Kev. With our clients, we actually prepare the packs, and you have your 790 in there ready and printed, filled out, ready to go. So yes, you will need to take a printed copy with you. We do that for you if for our clients. And it is 2 lots of payments. You pay for, although you may have joint documents and the application may be joint in the sense that the financials are joint, you have to pay 2 applications, because it's essentially 2 people, 2 separate applications, which have, it's quite hard to explain, but they are essentially 2 separate applications. But so you pay separately, you get separate file numbers, the visas will be issued in separate passports. But you can, if you have joint interest, like financial interest, take advantage of various things like the discount on the financial side for being a couple. So when people say it's a joint application, it's actually 2 separate ones, but that have common paperwork and take advantage of certain rules, should we say. Hello there, do you have any idea if this applies to tourist visas at all? I am a UK resident, I can't find the appointment at the BLS in London at all. No idea, we don't do tourist visas. So hey for HR8ZU, I would email the BLS in London and find out, but they have been quite good at responding via email, so check them out. Shrody100, great video, thanks both. Always useful to know your way around the airport and things about traveling. A great video from you both, thanks for that. That's the video I did with my son in Malaga Airport. We had a laugh doing that. Heart of Balloons for 727. I'm hopefully moving to Spain next year. I'm looking for any information about special needs learning centres. That's on our 5 tips for living with kids in Spain. I've also emailed about our application process. Right, if you've emailed, we'll get back to you this week at some point. We've got a little bit of a backlog to respond to inquiries, but we normally get back to you within a few days, so don't worry, we will do. Special needs learning centres, we'll have to look into that more. I'm not too sure myself. in different areas, and different local governments have different projects. So that's something definitely we'll look into. I'll ask my wife Lara, actually knows a lot more about the schools and the special needs stuff, and she used to work in a private school that handled special needs learning centre, children with special needs. So maybe we'll ask her and do another video. So that's a good idea. Thanks for that. Oh yeah, 845, great video, really helps, especially coming from a non-resident fiscal taxpayer. Thanks, that's on our tax-paying tax return video with Antonio. Great video, and thank you, Antonio, for your explanation. Please may I ask, we think we pay our non-residence tax through our bank by direct debit. What would I look for in the bank statement to indicate it has been taken? I think our solicitor set it up. Terrified we are doing something wrong. Joe. From Thomas Williams, 7888. Right, okay, so that's just the confusion between IBI tax and non-residence tax. So the IBI tax, which is your impuestos de bienes inmuebles, that is your house tax, and that will, if you've got it set up properly, come out of your bank every single year, which is your house tax. Some town halls split it into 2 payments, some just take one lump sum, depending on how you've got it set up. So the first thing to see is if that is actually your house tax coming out, because the non-residence tax, now that normally isn't taken automatically. Normally your tax advisor would have to go to the go to Hacienda, or most commonly present it online if they've got your digital certificate, a model 210, and you've got from January to December to present the non-residence tax from the previous year. Okay, so people who have not paid their non-residence tax and have owned a property in Spain in 2023 have until the 31st of December this year to present it, but it's normally done in a punctual way rather than coming out automatically. So if these payments are coming out automatically, I would assume that may be your house tax. Okay, and the non-residence tax, I would ask your lawyer who set this up to send you the model 210 non-residence tax to make sure it's been paid. If they haven't paid it, they need to get it set up. And if you have to back pay it, it's better to back pay it and maybe take a small fine than wait until they catch you. I think Antonio was saying the non-residence tax fine's what, 5% for back paying it, but 50% if they catch you, basically. 6 months rule abolished video, so no beneficial change, so not of any use. This is from Michael Stanley. No beneficial change, so not of any use to, as no one would spend all that cash for a 5-year holiday. Typical Spanish red tape. Well, let's just leave that comment there. Thanks for commenting, Michael. That's brilliant. And here we go, and I've got here comments that I have answered. Phil Green, hi Chris. We spoke to you regarding an NLV. We don't need a permanent residence. We are both retired and meet the earnings requirements via pensions, but my wife still has her mum alive and cannot commit to more than 170 days a year. Will we qualify for an NLV on year 2? Great question, and look at the 6-month video that I put up, 6-month abolish video put up. Now, in theory, okay, they have abolished the rule which negates you from getting a renewal if you haven't been in the country for more than 183 days. This was done, check that video out where I explain, but we haven't got any live cases of yet that. We haven't submitted any renewals yet of people who haven't been in the country, so we can't tell you what the reaction is of the sub-delegations. Remember, law and interpretation of the law is 2 different things. So let's see. In theory, they have, though I'm not too sure. I mean, all that money just to spend 170 days in Spain, I suppose that would allow you to spend more than 3 months consecutively. I don't know if you could just balance your Schengen days, really, because you've got half a year to balance, you know, without getting any sort of residency. So the only benefit of getting an NLV would be that you could spend a longer period. check that out, but check out the video Phil as well about the 6 months. Let's see if we start getting any news about people who have had to be out of Spain, whether they've asked for further proof why they've been out of Spain, whether they've denied these renewals. We just don't know. In theory, the law's been abolished. One day ago, trying to pay a fine from Germany, and on the payment link, this is on our how to pay a speeding fine video. Trying to pay a fine from Germany and the payment link just times out. Been trying all day with no result. I'm running out of time. Does anyone know how I can get through and pay my fine? Alternative or link or that actually works? Well, you can phone 060, but if you're in, that'll only work if you're in Spain. So let's just see what the number is for outside of Spain to call the DGT. Let's have a look. DGT. Should have had this prepared really, shouldn't I? Never mind. I can't find the number right now. Oh yeah, here we go. If you're in a foreign country, you can call the DGT on 902 887 060. Evidently, you would need to be a Spanish speaker, or if it keeps timing out and you're having a problem, maybe try using a Spanish IP address, and that might help as well. Or on many occasions, what I've done is just completely sacked it off, gone back the next day, and it seemed to work, which happens a lot of the times with these government websites. Peter Newbury 7700. Hi Pete. Hi Chris. I pressed on the more link and it brings up other YouTube links. Some of lots of the other people's also when some of yours and lots of other people's. Also, where is the nearest medical centre to get medical? I live in Cáceres. Peter, I have put a link to that medical centre on that comment, and it's strange because I checked on the comments. If you look underneath right at the bottom, the links are working to the form, but if you want to drop your email address to me at chris@upsticks.es, I'll email you all the information, or you could also email Jane at support at upsticks.es, or Lara at upsticks.es. Send us across your details and we'll send you the form directly to get going, so it's not a problem. Robbo979, this was on our driving license video, which did really well actually. We're nearly at 250 views on that. I'll be getting this done with you, Chris. Cheers, Robbo. Robbo's almost there. We're just waiting for those appointments to open. Come on, open them up. So that's that video. It was a strange video for me to do because it was slightly promotional, and I don't really do promotional videos. I like all our interaction with clients and possible people who are going to come on board, possible clients, to be quite organic. If they see us, see our content, see our website, they'll contact and we'll have a chat and go from there. I'll never do any real direct smashing advertising, but this service is quite important to get it out there. It's something that's worked a lot. It's something that we're doing in collaboration with Antonio's office, and we've really had a lot of success with it. So I thought, you know what, while I was with Antonio, do a quick video about it and get it out there. And that's it. Oh, here we go. It's another one from Pilot Paul. Very useful as always. So how long can I drive my UK license? Did you say there was currently no time limit, as I need to get my green card and padron? First, these appointments are taking months to arrange, so I need to think how this fits in. Cheers. You've got 6 months, Paul, to drive in your UK license. 6 months. And here we go. Any other points here? Very helpful. This is on our driving license exchange. Very helpful. One major point I hadn't considered is my original license was issued in Australia. I exchanged it for a UK one in 1998. I guess I have to take another driving test in Spain. How embarrassing if I don't pass the first time. Yep, if your license has been exchanged from a country that does not have an agreement with Spain into a country which does, because they take the status of the previous license, and that's a code on your license where it's identified. Unfortunately, they will not exchange it. And what else have we got here? Just a note, over 65 years old, you do not need an appointment at the government office. Matriculating my car, I had to go several times, and at the entrance you just chose that over 65 and you take a ticket. Not sure if this works for driving licenses, as I had a previous appointment for that. We don't get the appointments at the Traffico. As I say, we skip that bit with the service we offer, but I was aware that if you're over 65 you don't have to have an appointment at Traffico. You can just run down there, so that's very good information. Thanks for that. The Norville 2. And what else have we got here? Mick Parker, super helpful as ever. Thanks, Chris. Cheers, Mick. And yeah, that's about it. A couple of special shout outs to Stu and Joe, who have been absolutely brilliant in giving me some advice on other channels. I don't watch a lot of other channels. We don't really get time during the week, and it's so hard to know if you're doing things right or wrong, or even getting any feedback, and they've certainly been giving me some great feedback to help us move forward with the channel, so thanks for that, guys. And check this out as well. This person here, I was with him this week doing an ITV. We all know who that is. There we go, that's Scats. And we were there with Lara doing his ITVs, came down to meet him, and we had a bit of a laugh, actually. Check out his latest video, trying to phone the hospital for over an hour. And this is his QR code. Come on, we need to support Scats, keep his channel going. I know he looks ridiculously healthy for someone who's halfway through cancer treatment, but trust me, I know it is tough. He's going into a very difficult part of the treatment now, the stage 2 intravenous chemo. So yeah, he won't be able to work. And for everybody who's on YouTube, could you support him using this link? Okay then, let's talk about what's been going on in Spain.
Right, so what's been happening in Spain out and about? What things have I sort of tagged? Well, as you noticed, I've changed places. I didn't quite get time to do this section in the office. So, and I completely forgot yesterday, so today is Sunday. So here we are. I've just got up and remembered. I thought, oh, I've got to publish the video today. Set it up for 6 o'clock. Forgot to do the last bit. So here we are. Sun's just come up. Got the coffee. Let's get it recorded. So what have we got now in this section? As I was saying before, in section 1, what I'm going to do is break it down into 4 pieces. In this section, basically what I do during the week, if there's anything that's coming interesting over the email that's not really related to the visas but related to living in Spain, anything that our clients tell us, then I will put it on this section basically. And what I have done is I often go through the week tagging pictures or seeing things which I think are interesting. Maybe it's food, maybe it's the cost of living in Spain. I've been asked an awful lot about the cost of living in Spain, so I've actually just started taking pictures of receipts. Now these things might be completely boring for people. This is why I've put them at the end of the video. They might think, you know, never mind, we don't need to know about that, or we already know about that. But hey, who knows, you might find some nuggets of information from my random tagging and collecting of photos. So, and what I have done to make life easier for myself is I've uploaded the photos to Canva, which is the system I use to edit these videos and put them out there, so I don't have to be scrambling through emails. So first of all, I wanted to show you this. Now, this is just related to cost of living in Spain, and this is a bill that I got from our hardware store. Now, remember, a hardware store is called a ferreteria in Spanish, okay? Now, what we've found over the years, a lot of people, we have these, like, what they call them, like these Chinese shops, which they actually are called Chinese shops, okay? They're called chinos. And they generally, they're called them bazaars. Bizarrely, I don't know why they're called bazaars, but they'll call them. They're generally run by Chinese, and they have everything in them, just everything you can possibly imagine they'll have in them. I mean, they're an absolute godsend if you've got kids and you've got to get stuff for school. But, and you have to excuse my squinting because the sun's just coming up and it's in my eyes, but we're going to roll with this. But in these shops, they also do a lot of things for hardware, for, you know, selling stuff for chlorine, or they do stuff for swimming pools and that. They'll sell stuff like extension cords, screwdrivers, anything you need for home. And people quite often use these places to buy these things as well. And what we've found is lately it's getting just as expensive to buy them, things like that, in a Chinese shop as it is to go down your local hardware store. You might find that something in a hardware store is probably 20% more expensive, but it's better quality. So, and that's just to let you know that. And now this receipt here, this was for an extension cord, which I actually thought was quite expensive, but I don't buy electrical items from the Chinese shops just because I don't know. These come, they're quite, I've never had a problem with electrical items from a hardware store, and you don't quite know the origin. The ones in the Chinese shop, I'm not saying they're bad, but I think I'd probably get my electrical items from, especially if it's like this isn't a 25-meter extension cord, I'd get it from the hardware store. I paid 41 euros for it. I checked in the Chinese and it would have cost me 33 there, and it was definitely inferior quality. So there you can see I also bought some gloves. And the other thing there, for those of you who've got pools, you can see that's 5 kilos of the 10 effects tablets, which now the 10 effects tablets are 10 euros more than the 5 effects tablets, but you seem to use half of them. So I think it's a good idea to get them. So there we go, just a bit about cost of living in Spain. And there's another thing here about the cost of living in Spain. Now this is an invoice for the service on the Upsticks drive car. I've actually put a downloadable PDF below that if you wanted to see what it is. And you can see there all the basic filters and everything and what they cost. Now we've got a Toyota IQ, which is a very small car. Can be a bit of a pain to get parts for Toyota here. I don't know why. They all seem to be original. Yeah, that was a full, complete service on the vehicle, and you can Google translate all the stuff on there. You see air filter stuff. I thought it'd be quite interesting just for anybody who wants to know what it cost and do a price comparison from the UK. And we certainly will be doing more of these things where I just randomly take photos of receipts. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. If you think it's boring, also let me know. Now this wine here we go. Moving on to food and wine. Well, we found this wine in Dia. This was a treat we bought ourselves for myself and Lara. We've been together for 20 years. So we celebrated the other day, and this is a bottle of wine, one of the bottles of wine that we bought. And the reason we bought it is I'd never actually seen it in the shop before. I had seen it in various little wine boutiques many years ago. And this is a company that deal with, which actually have a GARNACHA collection. The GARNACHA is a type of grape. One that I quite like wines from GARNACHAs because they tend to be quite deep and heavy. But this one here it's an €8 bottle of wine. And it was from the Dia supermarket, and it was really quite, for a GARNACHA, it was, although it held that sort of strong taste, it was quite fresh. And I thought that you could have it. It definitely wasn't fruity though. I'm not into fruity stuff. So I would say that it was just quite a fresh wine, light, wasn't flinty like a lot of the GARNACHAs can be quite deep. And I would definitely say you could have that with, not just with steak, because the guy that we used to go to a wine place who sold us this said, it's great for a steak. And I always thought, well, actually that'd be nice for a bit of pork, or even a bit of dark fish as well. There's nothing that says you have to have white wine with pork and dark fish. A nice red like this would go well. So there you go. If you like your red wines, check that one out. That is in the Deer supermarket, and it's single grape, €8, and it is a GARNACHA. What else have we got going on here? And I wanted to show you, oh yes, here we go. And check this out here. I've done that one. This is someone that I found driving to work the other day. We have to go, as you see, we live in the country a little bit. We're only 15 minutes outside of town, but we moved here a few years ago for a little bit more space. Living in the country, to be honest, has its advantages and disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that when this constant maintenance is, and we're very rustic here, and we're not very, I don't go around cutting the grass with scissors. Well, we don't have grass, to be honest, but you know what I mean. It's literally, sometimes you can try and chop a bit of a tree down so it looks tidy and turn around, and I'm sure it grows back behind you. So that is one of the disadvantages of living in the country, but that's about it. The other disadvantage is you have to get a car to go everywhere, which when you've got the social life like our children have, it can be a bit of a pain. We definitely couldn't live without 2 cars. So that's not very environmentally friendly. We tried, but it became impossible. So yeah, but one of the many advantages of living in the country is you can put your music on loud as long as your neighbours aren't too close. And the other one, which I love, is you get to see lots of funny, creepy crawlies. We've seen a couple of snakes, we've seen plenty of birds. I just can't get good photos of them. We have a couple of like sparrowhawk type things, which frequent us quite often. And there's like I'm not really too sure what it is. I need a photo, and I need a bird expert. That's what it is. I did get a bird app to identify the sounds, and we identified nightingales. And evidently what you can probably hear now is my sparrow colony, which lives above me. And this is what I wanted to show you. This is a Megascolia maculata, which is a mammoth, well, I googled that evidently, which is a mammoth wasp. Now I saw this actually as I was driving out, and it was that big, it made me stop the car as it flew in front of me, and I went, I've got to go and see if I can find what that is. And normally things would just fly off, but it was just there. It was on a thistle, believe it or not. It do say they like artichokes, but on a thistle, and it was huge. It could have been the size of your little finger, it really was. And so placid, well, if you could call a wasp placid, that it just let me take photos of it. Apparently, after reading that they're not particularly aggressive insects, but yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Watching it fly was amazing. So there you go. If you're living in Andalusia, the things that you can see, eh? And what else have we got here for you? What have we put on there? And here we go. Yeah, some food for you as well. Now, I'm not too sure if I ever put this on, but this is one of the most popular tapas. And for those of you who've been coming to Spain, you very much will know this. And it's called Gambas al Pilpi. So Gambas al Pilpi, or most of the time just call it Gambas Pilpi. Now, pilpil is the part which makes it a chili and garlic, basically, prawns. So these are chili and garlic prawns. Well, actually chili prawns, but they often add garlic in there as well. Now they use these small chilies. It's not particularly hot, I have to say. It's not going to blow your head off to the point where my kids eat this. And if you see anything else which says pilpil after it, because it's not just gambas, which is the most famous part of the pilpil food varieties which is prepared, but you can get any sort of fish al pilpil. We've seen bacalao al pilpil, cod, which has been with these little chilies. We've seen vieras, which is clams al pilpil, and they come in the actual clam shell, and they put a little bit of chili on it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So, but it's not it's not that spicy. Spain don't do hot spices, so definitely if you see anything at pilpil, it's worth trying. Right then, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your comments on previous videos, and let's we'll do another update next week. Don't forget, we've got the Bill Anderson podcast coming up, and more videos during the week.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the